All right, hi everyone. I'm back with Christian. Today we're doing week 3, step 8 in the serverless curriculum with Bit Project. And this step is going to be a lot shorter than week 3, step 7, because all we're doing today is making the application return a random secret instead of the secret that the previous user submitted. Okay, let's go ahead and get started then. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to query for all secrets stored in Cosmos DB. And Christian, you were talking about earlier how this actually is not very cost effective. If you do want to learn more about that, we will provide some resources throughout the camp for you to look at. But if you're going to go into professional developing, like seriously, like developing applications with cost effectiveness and efficiency in mind, you will have to learn about this kind of stuff and resource partitioning, things like that. But for now, for this purpose of this video, we're not going to go over that in depth. So just keep that in mind, that this is not something you would want to do in the professional world.
So this partition key that you see in the VS Code, this is something where we'll heavily wrap your head around how to do that in the most efficient way for your business requirements that you will implement.
Yep.
So exactly. That's definitely the case. But for this session, perfectly fine.
Yep. Just for learning how Cosmos DB works, it's totally fine to use it like that. All right. So let's go ahead and query for all secrets instead of just one. This is very simple. All we're going to do is change the query. If you go down here, where is our query? Right here. And I'm just going to copy paste, select all from C. Christian, do you want to talk about this very simple query?
So that's basically the first query that you will ever do on a relational database, right? So give me everything from the database, select star from the placeholder, which is the database that we specified, or yep. The container especially. Now, when you think about a non-relational database, in a relational database, it's already quite costly to do that because you will fetch a lot of data from the database, but it's okay-ish in some scenarios. With a non-relational database, and especially with Cosmos DB, where you have the option to globally distribute your data, this can really cause impact on your performance on the one hand side, because you think about hopping to every node that is globally distributed to fetch the data for you. And second, Azure will charge you for that, which means you have to pay dollars for that. So that's, as Emily said before, it's nothing that you would probably do in a real life project, but for this scenario that we have here, it's perfectly fine.
Yep. All right, that's a great description of this very simple SQL query. If you do want to learn more, I'll just say it again, we're going to provide resources. Awesome. Okay, so now we're going to move on to selecting a random item. Now, if you're familiar, if you've taken a Java course before or even worked with JavaScript, you'll kind of understand how this actually works. I'm not going to go in too much depth because there is a lot of stuff for this online for how this specific line actually works. But I'm going to put it in the module.exports function. And the reason for that is, if you see this here, previously we just used the index 0. That just meant select the first one out of everything we queried. But now we're going to want to select a random index. And to do that, we're going to have to generate that first. So go here. And basically what this is doing is we're creating a random value. And to do that, we're using the math.floor function, which is basically converting from decimal to integer, if I'm correct. And you're using the math.random, which is generating a random number from 0 to 1. And it could be like any like 0.1, 0.2, etc. And we're multiplying that by items.length. So that's going to give us a value between the range of 0 and whatever the last index of the array is going to be. And we're just getting a random value from that. And instead of 0, I'm going to put random value. Okay. And I think that is about it for this step, actually. Very short and simple. And we're going to go ahead and deploy it. I'll pause the video so you guys don't have to wait through us trying to deploy it. And let's see. Okay, so now that our function is deployed and ready to go, I'm going to go back to the messaging app. So we already have test 1, test 2, and test 3. Those 3 things are already stored in our Cosmos DB. So now let's try retrieving a random one by sending another message. I'm going to click test 4 just for consistency. And let's see what it returns. There we go. It returned test 1. And we know for a fact that's random because the one we just stored before is test 3. So if I want to do it again, I can just type in something more random. Hello. Let's see what it returns. And it returns test 2. So now we can see that it's more random, and the more things you store in this database, the more random it'll get. Because like right now, it looks like it's going in order. That's only because we only have, I think, 4 or 5 things in there. All right, well, this is the end of week 3. So congratulations for getting all the way through. We hope you've learned a lot about databases, how to store information, how to retrieve information, and how to manipulate it to do more things with the apps that you're building at a serverless level. So thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you, Christian, for joining us for the last 2 steps of week 3.
It was a pleasure. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Have a great day.